Okay, Network Navigator, creating irresistible offers. I've created a framework called the 5 Ps: people, pitch, process, performance, and presence. And it's to help you understand all the different relationships and relations that you have with customers, suppliers, the customer's customer, friends of the customer, literally relations of the customer, and the outgoing network that stems from the customer, but also the network from suppliers, from staff, from all the people around your business. Okay, these are all your networks, and your customers themselves often fit in different networks. So the more we understand the networks that we work within, the more successful we're going to be in infiltrating those networks, which sounds super evil, doesn't it? But it's not really infiltrating. It's more about communicating with those different networks, understanding them, appreciating that they exist, and catering for them, so that you end up with that, that's for me, reaction, which we want. So what's an irresistible offer? I'm so passionate I screamed. What's an irresistible offer? It's a compelling proposition that's highly attractive to your target audience, making it difficult for them to refuse. That's, for me, that's what you really want. You know, the long and short of it is your overall offer, your proposition is to get the consumer, your target market, to say, out of all the different suppliers, and there's always tons of suppliers because we work in competitive markets, out of all the people that could supply what you supply, they want to do business with you and you only because you're the one that understands them. Why do you understand them? Because you bothered to take the time to understand them. Right? You're not they'll pay more money for it. Customers will pay more money when they're being listened to and understood, when they feel like you've got their interests in mind, when you can look after them. They'll buy from you more. They'll come back. In fact, there's tons of benefits. There's a whole long list of them. Increased, I'm not going to read them all. I'm going to cover them a bit more. You can take a screen grab, but I'm not going to go through every one of them. These are just like 20 or 30. I don't know how many there are there. Loads of benefits to having irresistible offers. Now, according to Harvard Business Review, it costs 25 times more to acquire a new customer. And that is done by retaining a customer. Okay, I just did that wrong. 25 times more than the cost of a single cost of, it costs 5 to 25, might as well read the slide. It costs 5 to 25 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to retain an existing one. That's right. So, in other words, if all we did was spend our time, as so many businesses do, get a new customer, get a new customer, get a new customer, get a new customer, you're just leaving money on the table. Because you could have gone back to past customers and sold them some more stuff. And saved a lot of costs. Made a whole bunch of new profits. So here's an example that I'm going to use, travel case study. I've done my best to hide their name, but you probably see it if you look carefully. The number one thing, offer, or statement that appears under the word travel is, you can't see it because it's got the word, I don't know if I can move it. Can I move it? Yeah, I can. Latest offers. There we go. There you go. Cover up the brand. So, latest offers. Great. And then you've got a list of topics across the top which should interest. And then you've got travel around the world for £1,279. So there's your headline, your offer. It's bold, it's beautiful, it's simple, it's got a one-click, find out more. If this isn't right for you, there's more offers. Look, you can click left or right. And I'm using this as a case study. But one other thing about this particular site, look, it's got this slogan there, no one looks after you better. So right at the beginning, it's telling you about these extra values that you can expect from it. And actually, as you go into this site, there's all sorts of statements from the chairman and testimonials and things and pictures of the staff. And you may say this is all standard and it's what you expect. Yeah, it is what you expect. And that's why you can trust them. But they're also all value statements. And when you read them, it's like, okay, I'm getting an understanding here that this business, this firm, cares about its customers and knows the kind of things that its customers are interested in. which, as well as fundamentally, obviously, having a good holiday, but dealing with things when they go wrong, as they surely will. Now, there's even a statement on here about how much tax they pay, because they are a big company. And the numbers are in the billions. I think they're in the billions. This is an enormous business in what is known as a cut price world. So you click on that latest offer button and you get to a latest offers page. Nothing particularly crazy about this page, nothing to dislike about it. It gives you a bunch of options. So now you can choose which kind of offer you want. Obviously, they could have had a drop down where you just select, but they've gone for the picture and the big buttons, beach holiday, luxury holidays, and so on. That's their option, but this is a second click. Take note of that. And that then takes you, when you click on one of those options, a third click takes you to a page. This is just a proportion of the page, which I've zoomed in on because the rest of the page is very similar, but I want to get to the details shown on this page. First of all, each holiday starts off with a beautiful picture, a headline, a subhead of where it is, and then a list of key features, and preceded by a saving if there is one, or not if there isn't one. And then it ends with a green price, highlighted price. So not shying away, they're not hiding the price. You may think it's odd that it's in green, but in fact the green is one of the colours of the site and smacks of consistency. They must have measured it. I'm not saying they have. I've signed an NDA. I can't tell you what they have or haven't done. All I'm revealing to you is what you can see by looking at the site. So this is completely public information. But there are elements, you can pick this apart. I love the lists. I mean, this could have been an essay. Would you have read it? Probably not. But can you read a simple list? Yeah. Bang, 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 bang. They could have gone, at the end of each line, it could have been a question mark, which you hover over and find out more information. Which 17 days of fully inclusive car hire? What kind of car? Okay. There are issues. But, at the bottom of the page is a kind of click here to find out more, or book now. And you'll find out more as you go through the process. But it took you 3 clicks to get to the offer. A lot of people in e-commerce will say 3 clicks. That's 3 times to lose your visitor. And having spent millions on pay-per-click and analysed, millions more clicks on SEO, I can tell you that for every click, you lose something like 50% of your traffic. Pretty close to 50%. So it varies, but that's what you discover. So you really do want to minimize those clicks. And to have it down to 3 clicks, pretty good. And what they've done to keep you on, I think, is each page is a pictorial. They could have reduced a click, they could have had a drop down, but where? Right? I think you'd be hard-pressed to even take one of the clicks out. So just going deeper on this case study, understanding and targeting your audience, customer research. I've spoken about this before in the last presentation. Lots of people never do this. That's why I'm talking about it again today, but also because it directly affects the crafting of irresistible offers. When you know what your customer wants, you can give it to them. Pretty straightforward, right? When you know who your customer is, you can segment them. So now you can have different offers for different types of customers. And when you know more about who your customer is, you can personalize it for them, okay? So you can run research on a one-to-one basis, if you want. But there's all sorts of data that you can find out about people because of their usage online, depending on which country you're in, which country they're in, and what they track and what information is available to you. Or there's nothing to stop you from asking or encouraging them to fill out a questionnaire. Travel case study, crafting a compelling value proposition. Number 1, clear messaging. Complicated, over-complex messaging gets in the way, confuses people, and a confused buyer buys nothing. Emotional appeal. A lot of people that aren't in sales don't realize that just about every single purchase is an emotional one. You know, when someone buys a car, salesmen will talk a lot about the color of the car. And they'll want to know about your family or the people that you live with, to understand who else would be going on those journeys with you. And then they'll be appealing to you and to those relationship issues, those emotional issues. And they'll be saying, well, this suits that and this suits that because you said this. And this is the customization that occurs to make an offer irresistible, because the customer ends up going, yeah, you're right. This is for me. It's that phrase again. Right, that's the phrase we want. There's much talk about unique selling points. And many people talk about what is the USP of the product. I would argue it's really, the focus should be on the USP of the offer. What does it mean to your customer, your audience? It's not really about you or your product. It's not me, me, me. It's customer, customer, customer. Big difference. That's a big issue when it comes to crafting irresistible offers. Streamlining the customer journey. We talked about the number of clicks. It's about making the process as simple, straightforward as possible. What does the customer want to evaluate? What do they want to understand? What do they want to get to? And yes, it's location. It's also the details. As I said, they could have had an essay, but they had a list of bullet points. Super accessible, simple to understand, easy to absorb. If I had to read a block of text on every one, most of them wouldn't get read. So they would never even, they just like go name, location, price. Everything else, they'd miss. So that's the user experience as well. That's what we're talking about here. Engagement through the irresistible offer, user experience. But we want minimum number of clicks. The reason we want the minimum number of clicks is to reduce the amount of friction that a buyer has to face in trying to work with you. So there are some industries where they deliberately take customers through a series of steps, many steps if they can. And then it gets to a point of a customer saying, well, I don't want to do that again. I'm just going to buy from you because I can't be bothered to go through that with someone else. On the other hand, if someone else offers a really simple process, then that someone else is probably going to end up with more business because it's just reduced friction. Because there'll be a lot of people, the more steps you take them through, that will actually just bail. They'll just leave. They won't do it. They'll get fed up, or they don't understand it, or they can't answer the question, or they get interrupted. There's just so many things. Someone else says, have you tried so-and-so? No, I haven't. I'll go and open a new browser, and they get lost in a different direction. Clear call to action. So, clarity. There's a travel agency called cheapflights.com. Guess what they sell? Cheap flights. But they also sell expensive package holidays. But you're in because of the cheap flights. So you got in on one basis, but you can buy cheap flights. They're not selling a lie. But you can also buy economy packages. But you can also buy deluxe packages. If you trust the brand, if you think you're getting a good deal, if the brand relates to you and you're saying, that's for me, wow, you're in. That clear call to action, right from the beginning, all the way through, powerful, needs to be strong, clear, action-orientated, deliver something. After all of this, are we then measuring what we're doing? And in most cases, the answer is no, we're not. It's annoying. It's sad. But I got some basic KPIs, key performance indicators, conversion rates, click-through rates, customer satisfaction scores. These are the minimum things you should be tracking. And you may wonder, how do we track? And the answer is, go find someone who can help you. That's what I do. That's what I exist. That's how I help. One of the ways I help customers is to not only work out what to track, what's important for you. These are just 3 generics. There are tens of things that we can track. But importantly, they're nearly the good ones, the best things to track, are the things that are unique to a specific business. Because every business is different. And when we track the things that count for the business, we end up focusing in on the areas of profit and then tuning the business. Because that's the outcome of all of this. We can do things like A/B testing. So try A, try B. This is about changing the irresistible offer. The more we change our offers, especially at the beginning, the quicker we get to a point of saying, do you know what, this kind of offer works much better than that kind of offer. So we're going to move forward just making this kind of offer again and again and again. And you can make similar offers again and again and again that you know will work or stand a high chance of working because of the changing seasons, because of changing events, because of the time of year. There's so many reasons I can come up with. In fact, I could change an offer every day of the week for years. I've got a program at the moment that I'm running that's 52 weeks out. And the only reason it's not longer is we kind of just got to the point of, well, that's a year, we'll go with that. We could have written 5 years, easily. And to be honest, the other 4 years will be remodeled on the first year anyway, so we do know that. But on a day-to-day basis, on an offer by offer, we'll be testing every single one, and systematically we'll be working out. So in the real world, offline, how would you do that? You would change your window display. It's difficult to do. It can be. You've got to create signage, you've got to create labeling, But I tell you what, if you turn yourself into a irresistible offer-making machine, you just become super efficient at creating offers. And the more offers that you make, the more likely we're going to get all the benefits that I listed earlier. But also the better our offers will become, the happier our clients will be, and et cetera, all those other benefits. The more money we'll make. Feedback and iteration. I actually trademarked a term called iterative innovation. But feedback and iteration is about listening to customers and then changing the offer to suit the customer needs. Because invariably you'll do your best impression or best interpretation of a customer understanding, and then you'll run it out to customers, and then customers will say things like, I'd like that, but I want it with this. They will tend to find ways or ask you to customize it. And you should listen to their requirements, and if you're wise, you will change your product to suit their needs, because you'll end up selling more product, right? Only the government has computer says no, not business. Understanding and targeting your audience. So a lot of this is about building trust with people. So that's where the consistent branding comes in. Also, your audience, they use different media. Some use, Instagram. Some use Facebook. Some use Twitter. Some use none of these. Some use just email. Some of them are off-grid. Some people like print. Some people like stuff for the letterbox. Other people hate it and glue it up. It just varies. Okay? But the thing is, when you are present with your message across a different set of media, there's 2 benefits. The first benefit is you just reach a wider audience. Well, that's great. We like numbers. The second benefit is lots of consumers will consume your material across different channels simultaneously. So they'll be at home, there's a leaflet. They go on a bus or a tube or travel and there's a sign. There you are again. They get to work and they turn on their laptop and there's an email from you, or they visit a site at lunch hour and wow, there's another one. Or they get a message from Facebook and above the message on the screen is, you're ad again, you're everywhere. This is the omnipresence. This is, therefore, you must be the market leader. How do you get there? Well, I talked about lifetime customer value earlier. That's one of the routes. More on this at the bit.ly live resources page, where I've got those 5 reports waiting for you. just go there or scan it and you can download them. We've got the same coming your way every week.